And that's how we survive. Be honest, we wouldn't be shocked if we found out he was an alien. I actually think we'd be relieved. You know, people are like, oh my God, that explains it. Yeah, if two aliens that looked exactly like him, like a mom and dad version of him, came down and they land on the planet, they're like, help us, we left our son here many decades ago. Where's our baby? Where's our baby? We'd be like, come on. Can't get your baby. Because he is, man. He's out of this world. And now, we are living through history. Do you ever think about that? Like, we are all living through history. And not like history, like just time that passed. You know, like, because there's that boring history, like, and then the people settled here, whatever. I'm talking about like history where some shit happened. You know when you read the books and you're like, yo, what was it like back then? Yeah, we're in the back then. That's all of us. My history's terrible now, I've realized. Because they record everything that is said at the White House. It is kept for posterity. All right? So that means in like 300 years, there'll be scholars studying old presidents and the White House, and they'll be like, what was it like 300 years ago? You're like, I don't know, but the Grammys host was terrible. Yes. A total loser, apparently. And a bunny was performing at the Super Bowl. Also terrible. Absolutely terrible. What a time. You know, the weird thing about living through history is it's so much less predictable when you are the one doing it. Like, when you read history or when we're taught history, it is often presented as if it was inevitable. You read the stories, you assume that is how they would have always ended because that's how they ended. Like, if I asked most people, do you think the Nazis will always lose the war? They'd be like, yeah, of course the Nazis would always lose the war. And yet at the time, the people who were fighting the war thought that the Nazis were going to win. There was a moment when it seemed like it was in their favor. When you're in history, it's a completely different gambit. Like, whenever I'm in Washington, D.C., I like to go and visit the National Museum of African American History and Culture. And if you've never been, let me tell you, it is one of the most profound experiences you will ever have in your life. It is a museum unlike any other I've ever been to, for a few reasons. You know, one is it is as complete a telling as is possible of Black history in America, which is history. But it's a history that's often not told, right? And you go to this building, and unlike other museums, you can't just choose your own adventure. You know, normally you walk in a museum and then it's like, what do you want to do, dinosaurs or space? You pick. There, they curate your moving through time. And so when you get to the museum, you start at the very beginning of Black people in America, and then it moves all the way through to the present day, right? And so it starts underground, literally, you go underground, and then it starts with slavery, spoiler alert. And then they move you through time, and then you get to the end, and then there's Oprah. That museum truly, like, it'll make you ask every question of yourself. I was there on my most recent trip, and I was walking through the beginning level, and it's underground, and it's chattel slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, and then the Underground Railroad. And so it's an emotional ride as well. You know, it's painful, it's oppression, and then there's this moment where you can see people rising up and fighting for what they believe in, overcoming. And because it's so engaging, you see people experiencing it in a different way. There were these two kids next to me, maybe 14 years old, and they were having a conversation that I was eavesdropping on, and the one turns to the other one, he's like, yo, man, he's like, what would you have done if you was around back then, man? He's like, would you have been a slave? He's like, yeah, well, yo, what? He's like, nah, they would have had the wrong one, man. They would have had the wrong one. Yo, I would have cooked their ass, man. Try to make me a slave, I would have cooked their ass. He's like, nah, you capping. He's like, nah, for real, I would have cooked their ass. I would have cooked their ass. And they're laughing and they're engaging in it. And I was like, either this is the delusion of youth, which is necessary for a revolution, or that's who they would be. Either way, it didn't matter. What I loved is that they were asking the question, who will you be when history calls? Because of them, I found myself asking the question, and honestly, I think I need to work on my self-esteem because I came up with nothing as heroic. Like if you asked me, Trevor, what would you do during slavery? I'd be like, I would have worked really hard and seen what happened. I don't think I would have been a hero. I don't have it. I'm impressed by people who say those things. If I was around back there, if I was in the store when they robbed it, I would have done. I don't have that in me. I don't. Like, I would be in the field, and I'd just be working hard, and I'd be minding my own business, and the guy on the horse would come, he'd be like, you better work hard, boy, you better pick that goddamn cotton. I'd be like, yes, master, that's a picking this cotton, master. That's a picking away, master. Oh, but as soon as he rides away, I'd light his ass up. Oh, I would roast him to bits. I'd be like, that dumb ass on him. Is he back? No. But I don't think I would have been a hero. Yeah, like a real hero would have showed up. Like Harriet Tubman would show up. She'd be like, psst, yo, Trev. Like, oh, hi, Harriet. How you doing? I'm doing shit. Oh no, what happened? Slavery happened. What you mean, what happened, boy? You stupid or something? Oh yeah, of course, I shouldn't have. Anyway, what's going on, Harriet? I just came to let you know that we're leaving tonight. Who's we? All of us, Trevor. We're getting out of here. We're going, baby. Oh yeah, Harriet, the guy on the horse says we shouldn't leave. He really doesn't like it when we leave. I think he has like separation anxiety or something. He should see someone about that. But he said, I don't give a shit what he said. We're getting out of here. What are you saying? You gonna stay? Yeah, I think I'll stay and just, see how it goes. See how it goes? What's wrong with you? You not coming? No, I'm not gonna come. I can't believe you. You light skins is all the same. What? Yeah. You scared, ain't you? You a scared little bitch. I am a bitch, Harriet. I cannot lie. I'm a scared little bitch. Look at you, scared little bitch. You almost as bad as Jimmy Kimmel. Sorry, sometimes I do jokes just for me. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Everyone was asking themselves the question. Everyone. One of the most unique encounters I experienced happened when there was a group of white people who were standing at the exhibit, and they were very, very liberal white people, right? Like very liberal white, like very, very liberal white people. Like they were feeling it more than the black people there. They were. Yeah, to show how much they were feeling it, there was a moment where some of the black people who were walking around the exhibit, right? Because there's black people walking around the exhibit and there's white people there, because everyone can go, right? And so the black people who were there were living what I would consider the full black experience, which is being a human being. So some people were crying, and then a moment later they were talking to their friends, sharing stories, recounting, laughing, etc. And one person laughed, was like talking to their friend, like, ha 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 ha, yeah. And then the woman, there was a white woman here, was like the leader of the crew. She turned at that laugh, was like, ha ha, and she was like, shh. That's how liberal they were. And just when I thought she couldn't top that, she was looking at a photograph, one of the first pictures ever really been taken. And it was a picture of a white man on a plantation, standing there, smiling, standing in a field, just like smiling in the picture. And this woman is standing looking at the picture, and she's like, if I was there when that was happening, I swear to God, if I was there when that was happening, I would have never smiled. You know when a sentence has the exact conclusion you did not predict? Like this was, I thought she was, if I was there, I would have fought, I would have freed, I would have, no. She's like, I would have had slaves, but I wouldn't have enjoyed it. Just be crying, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. I'm so sorry. Yeah, dust behind the couch as well, but I'm so sorry. I can't. It was really, really something. You know, you moved to that level there for more than an hour. At the end of it, I was so taken by the question that I was asking myself, who will you be when history calls, that I texted one of my best friends, David Meyer. He's actually the first American I ever became friends with. He came to South Africa by chance 20 years ago, was on like a school project. We met by chance, became friends by chance, and then he convinced me to come to America and do comedy, which I'd never planned to do. The rest is history. So we've been friends since that day, right? And yeah, it's a beautiful story. And also, our lives are so different. He's this 6'5", lanky white boy from North Carolina, right? Sweetest guy ever, super sincere. And because of that, I love playing pranks on him. And as we left that exhibit, I texted him, and I was like, yo, Dave, I need to ask you a favor. And he responded, he's like, yo, dude, what's up? And I said, if slavery comes back, do you promise to have me as one of your slaves and treat me really well? And then he responded, he was like, dude, what? And I said, do you promise to have me as your slave and treat me very well? And he was like, what are you talking about? And I said, yes or no? And then I just saw the little dots, and it was like typing, 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 and then he called me. I was like, yo, what's up? He's like, dude, what are you even talking about? What is happening? What do you mean slavery? I was like, I just want to know from you, Dave. If slavery comes back, do you promise to have me as one of your slaves and treat me really well? He's like, dude, no. What do you mean? Slavery is not coming back. Slavery is not coming back. I was like, that's what they said about Ghostbusters. Just answer the question. Will you or will you not have me as one of you? He's like, no, dude, no. I would never have you as one of my slaves. I would never own